Okay. Hello everyone. Um, so Flight Rising had an update, if you haven't guessed already. Um, and a new ancient dragon was introduced. And so I'm going to be reading the new lore encyclopedia entries, just for everyone to have something to listen to instead of read with their own eyes, because I know how daunting reading a bunch of words can be. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna start. So, um, and I'm not like a professional reader or anything, so I'm probably going to make a bunch of mistakes and stutter and stuff, so I apologize for that in advance. But here we go. Mistakes were made. What was forgotten festers. Written by Aquarian. I should be swimming, the dragon grumbled bitterly, dragging their pair left towards the shimmering liquid of the worm wound. With an exasperated grunt, his partner shifted the dragon back onto the hidden path. No, it is bad to spend too much time in the goo. A large bubble near the edge of the irradiated stew-like lake popped, spraying the surrounding area with its contagious magic as if to punctuate the dragon's point. It'll make me stronger, the first dragon snarled, stomping a foot in the fleshy ground of the rim. Strength at a cost. Dragons who go back too soon become part of the worm wound. There are other ways to be strong. He looked longingly towards the faintly glowing shore. But this is faster, better. But rest makes me stronger too. Dragons who collapse can't grow, he paused, before pointedly reminding the first one. And dragons must remain hidden. Gilly saw 2 outsiders earlier. The clan can't be found. With muttered profanity, the dragon had to admit his partner was right. Why are there so many outsiders around the rim? I know. I can hunt them and test my strength. At least it isn't swimming, the second acquiesced. Hunting means hiding, and that means cover mud. Then let's go. Hold! Toft pushed his goggles up above his 4 eyes and peered down into the innermost canyon of the rim. The mirror dragon and his spiral companion had been assigned by the war chief Morix to run an extended patrol around the perimeter of the Wormwood proper, looking for further incursions from nature's forces. He was sure he'd just seen a heat signature before it vanished. His clanmate settled down next to him, coiling her length beneath her. She stuck her head out past his and squinted. What is it? I don't see anything. I could have sworn I saw something moving further down, below the line of... Are those veins or roots? The spiral shot upright and into the air, her eyes wide with shock. No. That horrid nature seed didn't get this far, she sputtered. It couldn't. He shoved his goggles back into his pack. Tough couldn't risk missing a single heat signature now. We have to check Carrion. That's why we're here. The war chief needs to know. It could be native to the rim, but we have to make sure it isn't from that thing. Carrion squawked in disbelief. Toff, no, it's too dangerous. Let's report back to the war chief. Toff shook his head. And tell him what exactly? What we might have spotted? Some unverified plant life in the wormwood, close to the cauldron? No, we need to get closer and give a detailed report. We'll be okay, I think. We're not going in the wormwood proper. The organisms are along the edge, give or take. He glared up at his partner. This is an order from the war chief himself, Scout Carrion. Patrol the rim. Report back anything suspicious. Make sure nature hasn't encroached further into Mother's realm. He took to the air, gesturing for the reluctant spiral to follow. We'll go slow, as long as you can see it with your vision. We'll find a place to perch, and you can start with your sketches for the war chief. Carrion dropped down to match his altitude and speed. whispering something under her breath about fools and suicide missions. Toph decided to ignore that. Let's go. Oh, that cluster looks deliciously foul. I'm not hungry, and muzzle it. I think the outsiders are nearby. His partner spat in disgust, while the others drooled over congealed growth. And it's got boil bugs. I'm not passing up boiled bugs. They're my favorite. With a great heave, the dragon launched himself upwards. Up towards... Okay, hold on. With a great heave, the dragon launched himself up towards the rapidly multiplying pustule, popping its membrane and gulping down the spilled contents with great relish. Before his protesting partner could open his mouth to berate him for the endless distractions, his gaze fell upon the two forms suddenly exposed from their hiding place behind the mound. One let out a startled cry. Shards! Toph and Carrion sat frozen, wide-eyed, matching the shocked expression worn by the second head of what could only be a shade beast, a two-headed aberration, a creature thoroughly befouled with mud, goo, and detritus from deep within the rim and wound below, a creature of nightmares incarnate. The one head finished guzzling the slurry from the pustule that had been hiding them previously, with the final rendering of the membrane ripping Toph from his shocked daze. Carrion, the war chief, go! He hissed, pinching the still stunned spiral. Carrion shrieked and launched her sketchbook at the head closest to her before using her tail as a spring to send her flying back up the lip of the rim. The two-headed beast flinched, battling the sketchbook away from its glowing eyes. Then its head growled in unison and took to the air after her. Spitting curses, Toph threw himself into an intercept course and bodied the beast away from Carrion's desperate flight. I'm your opponent, beast. The aberration fixed one head on the mirror, hovering midair between it and its prey, while the other head, and its three eyes, looked past at Carrion. Then it threw its head back and howled in frustration. The head glaring at Toph snarled, We must not be found! The creature charged at Toph, all claws and two sets of vicious teeth reaching for him at breakneck speed. It slammed into him, knocking the air from his body as they grappled and tumbled through the fetid air above the warm wound. Wings fouled and limbs locked, they slammed into the muddy, gooey edge of the worm wound, mere feet from the boiling liquid of the Plaguebringer's cauldron. Toph felt the sharp pain of one wing breaking on impact, while the other twisted. The beast rose up on its hind legs, standing over the rattled mirror, its wings flung wide in full, the force casting off the mud and goo that had previously blinded Toph's heat vision. With the obscuring mud removed, Toph's jaw dropped as he instinctively reached for the goggles he'd lost in the aerial battle. You're not Shade, The newly revealed dragon fixed his 5 glowing red eyes on the scout. The green one laughed. The ice did too. The heads chanted in unison. The ancient dragon reached down and grasped Toph's back legs, lifting him up with claws of steel. Toph tried to free himself, but with one wing broken and the other dislocated, he didn't stand a chance against the ancient. He was at the mercy of the ancient dragon, and all his attempts to break free resulted in only dizzying pain. The blood was rushed to his head as the pair took flight, rapidly gaining height. The day Mother swept us into the goo. Wait! We're kin! Mother raged, Mother cried, the heads intoned as they spun their opponent around in a circle. She didn't know. We survived! The dragon's head roared as their spin picked up speed. Shards, wait! We'll show Mother she was wrong, the dragon chant intensified. We'll show Mother we are strong! And then Toph was released, catapulted up and out of the rim by a raging ancient dragon, working out generations of pent-up resentment and fury on him. Shards! He tried to flare the dislocated wing in a vain attempt to slow his free fall, but the craggy surface of the rim was coming up on him fast. Toph closed his eyes, resigned to his fate. "Brace yourself, Scout!" And then War Chief Morix was there. He caught Mirror with his body in midair. The War Chief spread his wings wide to counteract Toph's velocity, attempting to guide the two into a controlled landing. They hit the ledge hard. Toph tried to stand, but the combined pain in his back and wings and the battle fatigue rushed up over him all at once. He pitched forward, almost over the ledge and into the warm wound. Morix let loose a string of profanity as he caught his soldier. "Stay awake," he muttered, smacking the mirror's face with a measured claw. "Scout Toph, report." "Ancient, sir," Toph whispered. "Ancient what, soldier?" The aberration burst out of the canyon, screaming in fury. "We will not be found!" Its 5 eyes locked on 2 grounded dragons below before launching into a deadly dive. "Dragon, sir. Ancient plague dragon." Summoning the last of his own strength, Top picked his head up and shouted at the raging 2-headed beast. "You're very strong!" The aberration sharply pulled out of the dive, with all 5 eyes wide in shock as the ancient hovered in midair. Toph breathed a sigh of relief when both heads slowly tilted to the right as they regarded their opponent. "We are strong?" A toothy grin crept across Morix's face as a myriad of new possibilities and opportunities came to mind. "Yes, very strong. A strong, powerful warrior like you could be unstoppable as our ally. You could join us, your kin. We can make you even stronger." The ancient dragons' heads turned to look at each other as they processed the War Chief's validation. "We are strong," his heads exclaimed in unison, trumpeting a victory cry in reply. The dragon whipped around to face the inner canyon, repeating Morix's invitation at a volume only a guardian could match. The dragon's voice echoed back across the rock rim. "No, not echoes," Toph realized with a start, shielding his eyes. Throughout the rim, heat signals were popping up and popping up fast. The canyon was now ablaze with aberrations, and deafeningly loud. "We'll show Mother. We are strong!" And that's the story. So, give me just a sec, and we'll start the Encyclopedia entry, if I can remember how to control OBS. So this is going to be a bit more informal, I guess. So we have Aberration dragons. They're obtained from the treasure marketplace, as in the Aberration scrolls. They're a common ancient dragon. They have a breeding cooldown of 20 days, and they eat everything, so meat, insects, plants, and seafood. So the overview. The Aberration species originates from the Wormwood, where they return annually to test themselves against the contagion's might. Aberration dragons are a primal breed of dragon that always travels in pairs. Okay, physical attributes. Aberrations are a highly dimorphic species, changing with each migration to the cauldron. All members of its current generation sports 2 heads, each containing an independent mind that work together to make a single individual. They also process a twin pair of tails that twist into a helix. Most aberrations have 2 wings, 4 legs, and though variations or variants are not unheard of. Sorry. So now I just can't read. That's it, no more. The majority of aberrations are a mid-sized dragon breed, but an aberration clan of any reasonable population will usually sport a gargantuan-sized major or two, almost equal with the size of a ridgeback. So they can get fairly big. Social. Each aberration is a pair of two minds working together or rivaling for control of their single body. Each aberration has their own feelings on whether pairs are of that are of a similar mind and outlook work better than those who consider things from two different points of view. Aberrations feel that given enough time and further generations, one method should prove superior to another so that future aberrations can seek to adopt it. Before leaving the worm wound, these dragons had one goal: become stronger. Generations of paranoid seclusion, scrounging for scant resources, and forays into the worm wound's contagion have left little time to develop lasting culture. While many of those that have left the worm wound to test themselves against the outside world continue in this mindset, an equal number have found the hobbies, traditions, and artistry of other dragons and beast clans to be fascinating. These aberrations have set about adopting them with gusto. Lairs. Aberration dragons that continue to live within the wormwood carve pox out of the tough, fibrous cauldron above the contagion. These rough hollows serve only to give aberrations a place to rest and recuperate outside of the deadly primordial soup. A pock that is not torn into daily quickly heals over, and lairs are created and abandoned in rapid succession. For those aberrations who venture outside the worm wound to mingle with dragonkind, the concept of a permanent lair is foreign. Left to their own devices, aberrations feel that anything that is not directly corrosive or damaging is a fine place to rest. What a freaking mood. Collapsing together in open-air piles. Those that join with clans of other dragon species will utilize the structures and resources of an already established lair, but will do little to improve or expand these clans. Interesting. Tactics. During battle, an aberration pair will set aside their differences and each focus their attention on a different aspect of combat. Those aberrations who war with themselves rarely come out victorious when fighting a battle on two fronts. One head will focus on the physical, controlling the body, positioning, and the actions of the tail, fang, and claw. The opposite head will give up control of the body and focus on primal, elemental, magic, or breath attacks. Aberrations see no issues in fighting dirty or fleeing the moment victory seems scant. They can always return to the worm wound, change, and test the strength of their new body in the future. And that's it. We can quickly look over the Ancient Aberration breed page announcement thread that Undell has posted. It says a breed never acknowledged festers. So they're excited to announce the next edition of our Ancient Breed system, the Aberration, have now been launched. Ancient Breeds are a way for the Fight Rising team to release some more regular dragon content with a few restrictions. To make that possible, you can read about the Ancient Breed system in our developer update on the subject. Aberrations. Once exiled and abandoned to endless change in the worm wound, aberrations have re-emerged and found that they have become strong. These warped-bound pairs have been unleashed. Aberrations are pleased with their evolution in the worm wound and have moved to testing themselves in the greater world by joining the clans of Sornius. And we just read these two. And this is more details about the release and where you can get aberrations. Scrolls, that is, and the genes that can be included. So we have tertiary genes, some fangs, Kumo, which adds these swirls, jewels, and frills, which I really like. They're pretty cool. And a full set from Baldwin. I'm not going to look through all of these. Some unique genes from the Colosseum, and a swap stand tertiary gene. And then these are all genes that they share in common with the moderns. And vistas and emojis. So yeah, that's the ancient breed update. So thank you for tolerating my reading and joining me. I personally really like this ancient breed. I think it's my favorite. And that's saying something because I really liked Veilspun. But I feel like these guys' genes match up with my specific nature aesthetic, more specifically with the polypore tertiary. I can make tree dragons with actual mushrooms on them, which is pretty cool. So, but yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll try to release more videos like this in the future, maybe go live, and hopefully I'll get better at doing that. So, anyway, thanks and see you next time.